KnowYourTutor.com is a one-stop platform to find best coaching institutes, tutors, and to get discount on courses.
Hi, good morning to you all. My name is Kuldeep Singh. I've been a civil service mentor for past 5 years, and I've been guiding and counseling the civil service aspirants for quite a while now. And today's session will be based on some of the questions which the different aspirants, for example, public service aspirants ask when they come to me, right? Or when they come whenever they are trying, or whenever they are thinking of preparing for a civil service exam or any other public service exam. There are a few questions that come into their mind. So today's session for you people would be based on such kind of questions. I'll be trying to answer these kind of questions. Plus, what I'll be trying to do here is I'll try to give you a brief introduction on what exactly is public service, why it has become such an attraction in youth, what is going on, what is the kind of competition, and then I'll also try to give you few tips regarding how you can prepare for the examination while you're sitting at home. Right. So first question I'm going to take, which most of the students, most of the aspirants which are preparing for public services ask is that they want to know about different type of exams which are conducted or through which they can get inducted to public services. Right. Let me tell you, there are many examinations conducted by the central government as well as the state government and the public service public sector undertakings. They conduct these examinations through which you can enter the public services. For example, I would give you some insight on what are the different type of exams through which you can enter the public services. For instance, the first one I'll take up is the very famous and very common these days. For example, the SSC or the Staff Selection Commission's combined graduate level examination. In this particular examination, most of the entry is towards the grade B services on central government. For example, the excise inspectors, the income tax inspectors, and all these grade B services are filled through this SSC combined graduate level exam, which is conducted every year. Right. And thereafter I'd go into this banking services papers. Right. Banking service paper is generally conducted by a body called as IBPS, and this IBPS is eventually taking both the clerical level examination as well as the probationary officer examinations. They are again conducted throughout the year. They are generally once a year for clerical and once a year for the probation officers. Apart from that, if we talk about the grade A services, then we come into the realm of civil services, or that is many a time known as UPSC, Union Public Service Commission's conducted civil service examination. Right. Civil service examination के अंदर जो है the most commonly known service is IAS and IPS. Right. And UPSC जो है ये civil service examination हर साल conduct करवाता है for somewhere around 1000 posts के लिए. Right. जिसके अंदर जो है IAS, जिसके अंदर IPS एंड और बहुत सारी सेंट्रल सर्विसेज होती हैं, जैसे कि आप लोगों ने सुना होगा, जैसे इंडियन फॉरेन सर्विसेज हैं, इंडियन रेलवे ट्रैफिक सर्विसेज हैं, देन आपका पोस्टल सर्विसेज हैं. राइट. उसके बाद डेनिक्स है. देयर आर मेनी सर्विसेज विच आर क्लब टुगेदर इन सिविल सर्विस एग्जामिनेशन. आप हर साल जो है आप IAS के बारे में सुनते हैं कि IAS सिलेक्ट हुए, IPS सिलेक्ट हुए. ये एग्ज़ाम जो है इन्हीं पर्टिकुलर पोस्ट के लिए किया जाता है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, अगर आप एग्जीक्यूटिव में एंट्री पाना चाहते हैं, अपार्ट फ्रॉम UPSC, जो है हर स्टेट अपना एक पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन जो है उनका एक पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन होता है, एंड वो उसके थ्रू भी जो है ग्रेड ए गवर्नमेंट स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सर्विसेज में आपकी एंट्री करवाते हैं या फिर इंडक्शन करवाते हैं. एंड दिस इज़ डन थ्रू देयर ओन पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन, जैसे मैंने आपको बताया. और इनके एग्ज़ाम भी जो है ऑलमोस्ट हर साल कंडक्ट होते हैं. हर स्टेट का अपना एक पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन है और हर साल अपना एक एग्ज़ाम कंडक्ट करते हैं. इसमें जो है रैंकिंग इज़ सिमिलर टू UPSC. राइट. इसमें एक आपकी एग्जीक्यूटिव सर्विसेज हैं जिसमें कि आप SDM लगते हैं, एंड SDM होगा उसमें. देन उसके बाद आपका तहसीलदार होगा. देन उसके बाद ब्लॉक डेवलपमेंट एंड प्रोटेक्शन प्रोटेक्शन ऑफिसर्स होते हैं, चाइल्ड प्रोटेक्शन ऑफिसर्स होते हैं, राइट। इस तरह की एक एग्जीक्यूटिव लेवल की जॉब्स होती हैं स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में। एंड देन उसके अंदर जो है एक पुलिस सर्विसेज होती है, राइट, जिसमें अंदर जो है आप जनरली इंडक्शन के टाइम पे डेप्यूटी सुपरिटेंडेंट टू पुलिस लगते हैं, राइट। 2 कैटेगरीज में होती है जनरली, जेल्स एंड DSP जनरल। हम जो है स्टेट सर्विसेज के बारे में और बातें करेंगे इन आवर अपकमिंग वीडियोस, राइट। सो आई विल जस्ट टेकिंग द general questions. Now another question which is frequently asked is who conduct these examinations and when or where they are conducted, right? So मैंने जो है अभी ऑलरेडी इसका आंसर आपको दे दिया। जैसे कि अगर आप कंबाइंड ग्रेजुएट लेवल एग्जाम देखें फॉर ग्रेड बी सर्विसेज इन सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट, वो जो है SSC कंडक्ट करवाता है, राइट। अगर आप बैंकिंग में इंटरेस्टेड हैं या बैंकिंग में जाना चाहते हैं तो इट इज़ जनरली कंडक्टेड बाय द IBPS। एंड अगर आप ग्रेड A सिविल सर्विसेज सेंटर या स्टेट में जाना चाहते हैं देन इट इज़ कंडक्टेड बाय UPSC, राइट, और इट इज़ कंडक्टेड बाय द स्टेट पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशंस, राइट। हर साल जो है ये एग्जामिनेशंस निकलते हैं। इसके लिए इसके रिगार्डिंग जो है गवर्नमेंट नोटिफिकेशन निकालती है एंड दीज नोटिफिकेशंस आर अवेलेबल, राइट। आपको हमारी वेबसाइट में आपको ये नोटिफिकेशन मिल जाएंगी। वी विल बी इन्फॉर्मिंग यू अबाउट ऑल दीज नोटिफिकेशंस एंड ऑल, एंड इवेंचुअली यू कैन fill your forms and start preparing for it, right? So next question which is frequently asked is who should prepare for these examinations. Now I would go slightly I would like to broaden this question. Who prepare for government examination is what exactly attracts youth, what attracts youth towards the government examination. That is going to help us answer this question. Now as far as the attraction of youth is concerned, now what has happened in Indian society or Indian general India is concerned, what has happened is there has been informalization of work. Most of the jobs which are being created, they are in informal sector and private sector. Now the biggest problem in this sector is the lack of job security or lack of social security, and that acts as an attraction or that acts as a magnet, right, for youth to come towards the government services. Government services में जो है जो youth है उसको job security मिलता है, राइट। इवेंचुअली उनका जो है जॉब, उनकी जो है उनकी वर्क इज़ सिक्योर फॉर द लाइफ, राइट। दैट बिकॉज अगर आप देखो तो गवर्नमेंट जॉब इज़ अ करियर जॉब, राइट। जब तक आप रिटायर नहीं होते आपको गवर्नमेंट को सर्व करना है एंड यू गेट एन हैंडसम सैलरी फॉर इट। सो इवेंचुअली जॉब सिक्योरिटी हैज़ बीन द की point for youth to turn towards the civil services, right, or the public services. Then thereafter is इसके बाद जो है मैं points बात करना चाहूँगा is the prestige and honor that is associated with government services. Now ये again जो है हमारी Indian society का एक major जो है you can say pillar रहा है that the government services are revered, right. Every family, right, especially middle class families जो हैं वो government services को बहुत rever करती हैं या उनका जो है बहुत prestige या honor attached है government services के साथ. That has also been a key point or key pillar जिससे जो है youth they have been attracted towards civil services. So again coming back to question, who should prepare for civil services? Again, those who are looking for job security, those who are looking for prestige and honor as far as society is concerned, and most of all those who want to excel in public services, those who want to have those who have the courage, those who have that inside willingness to serve public services or willingness to serve public, right. Those who want to do that, they are the general people who are entering the public services, right. So I would go to the next question, that is how to apply for these examinations. Now again I told you, right, as every year at certain point of time in the year, right, for example I'll give you one example on this, right. Notification आता है, right, there will be a notification regarding a specific exam, and as soon as the notification comes out then you've got to fill up a form. Mostly जो है आजकल online applications ली जाती हैं. Almost all the public service notifications, they are done through online applications. And for example I'll give you example of civil service examination. UPSC जो civil service examination conduct करवाती है उसकी जो है नोटिफिकेशन कम्स इन मार्च अप्रैल, राइट. मार्च में जो है ये नोटिफिकेशन आएगी एंड इवेंचुअली यू हैव टू फिल अ ऑनलाइन फॉर्म, राइट, रिगार्डिंग द पर्टिकुलर एग्जामिनेशन. एंड उसके बाद जो है एज सुन एज यू फिल द एग्जामिनेशन, राइट, एट अ स्पेसिफिक डेट, उसके बाद जो है यू हैव टू अपीयर in the preliminary examination, which is conducted in June, and then once you clear the preliminary examination, you go to the other phases of the exam, right? I'll not go too much detail in the exam, right? If you want to see the details of the examination, you can definitely go to a blog and check it out, right? I've given the civil services blogs also, right? So next question is, what are the eligibility criteria as far as if for appearing in these examinations is concerned? राइट अगर आप एलिजिबिलिटी की बात करो तो मोस्ट ऑफ देम, एंड आई वुड से 99.9% ऑफ ऑल द पब्लिक सर्विस एग्जामिनेशंस रिक्वायर ए बेसिक क्वालिफिकेशन, दैट इज़ योर ग्रेजुएशन. आपको जो है ग्रेजुएशन, यू हैव टू बी अ ग्रेजुएट इन एनी डिसिप्लिन, राइट? इट डजंट मैटर यू आर फ्रॉम साइंस बैकग्राउंड, इट डजंट मैटर you are from any other background, arts background and all you've got to be is a graduate. For example, if you are pursuing engineering, or you have to be a BTech, right? If you are pursuing medicine, you have to be an MBBS. So it is a basic graduation, that is the criteria for almost all the examinations. Yes, if you go for some kind of specialized examinations, you require some kind of specialized education, right? For example, अगर आप बात करें public services in public sector undertakings, for example BEL, for example आपका हिंदुस्तान एरोनॉटिकल लिमिटेड, राइट? ऑल दीज इवेंचुअली दीज आर टेक्निकल इंडस्ट्रीज और टेक्निकल पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग्स, एंड यहाँ पे जो है स्पेसिफिक काइंड ऑफ एजुकेशनल बैकग्राउंड इज़ रिक्वायर्ड. रेस्ट ऑफ देम मोस्ट, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप एसएससी की बात करें, अगर आप बैंकिंग की बात करें, अगर आप यूपीएससी की बात करें, ऑलमोस्ट ऑल ऑफ देम हैव द सेम क्राइटेरिया, दैट इज़ योर ग्रेजुएशन. सो इफ़ यू आर अ ग्रेजुएट, you can prepare for the examination, right? Now next question is about how, now this question is a slight tricky. What is the syllabus of these examinations? Now again, I would go into the philosophy of government's view on how to conduct these examinations, right? So government's philosophy of induction or induction examination is basically that they want to judge an overall intellect and overall aptitude of the candidate, right? And overall intellect could not be better judged than by asking you general knowledge questions, right? So first, there are generally two modules as far as the syllabus is concerned, and I'm talking about almost all the exams, right? There are two modules for these exams. First is your general knowledge, and second is your aptitude, right? General knowledge and aptitude. Now all these you'd eventually feel that every exam has a different syllabus, but if you minutely look at the syllabus, these are the two pillars on which government asks you questions, right? It might differ on the scale, it might differ on the difficulty scale, और difficulty में जो है difference हो सकता है, right? Depending upon what kind of service are you preparing for, but यही दो pillars हैं जिन पे जो है government questions पूछती है, right? अगर मैं आपको example दूँ, SSC का example लेते हैं CGL में, right? तो CGL में the tendency of government is to ask more towards the aptitude, right? Aptitude means your quantitative reasoning or your maths, then your logical reasoning and your English comprehension skills, they are focused more, and GK plays a lesser part, but दोनों जो हैं मिला के ही you're getting the exam. If you talk of UPSC civil service examination, यहाँ पे जो है general knowledge is considered more important, right? So eventually you'll have the bigger module of general knowledge, जिसे हम general studies कहते हैं, right? That particular module is way much important, and it is considered, right? It is asked in all the phases of the examination, right? So that is the broad syllabus as far as the UPSC or as far as the government exams is concerned. Two pillars I've told you. The first one is your general knowledge, right? And second one is your aptitude. So the next question is, right, how to prepare for these examinations, right? Now I can't tell you the minute details on how to prepare for different examinations, but I'll give you a brief overview. An overview देता हूँ मैं आपको, जिसमें कि जो है eventually you will feel that every exam there is some part of the preparation that is covered in this. Now जैसे मैंने अभी पिछले क्वेश्चन में बात करी, right, what is required is that you've got to have two modules with you, that is general knowledge and then second one is your aptitude, right? वेरी करता है इनकी रिलेटिविटी, सॉरी इनकी जो है फ्रीक्वेंसी में कितने क्वेश्चन कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, राइट? सो इफ़ यू वांट टू prepare for these examinations, you've got to make both of these modules or both of these pillars very strong, right? And इसके लिए जो है you do not need to go out of the box, राइट. अगर आप जनरल प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज राइट फर्स्ट जब भी कोई प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट करता है उसके लिए सबसे बड़ा डिलेमा ये होता है कि मैं कहाँ से स्टार्ट करूँ, क्या स्टार्ट करूँ, राइट. सो अगर आप जनरल नॉलेज के टॉपिक्स देखेंगे, अगर आप ऑप्टीट्यूड के टॉपिक्स देखेंगे, तो ये एक्चुअली जो है कहाँ से उठाए गए हैं, ये उठाए गए हैं आपकी स्कूलिंग या स्कूल लेवल एजुकेशन से. दैट मीन्स आपकी जो है 7th स्टैंडर्ड, 8th स्टैंडर्ड, 9th, 10th स्टैंडर्ड, +1 स्टैंडर्ड, इन स्टैंडर्ड से जो है जनरल नॉलेज और इन स्टैंडर्ड से जो है क्वान्टिटेटिव और लॉजिकल रीजनिंग यहाँ से उठाई गई है. सो इफ़ यू वांट टू प्रिपेयर फॉर द एग्जामिनेशन, राइट, द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट यू गॉट टू डू इज़ आपको ये 2 पिलर स्ट्रॉन्ग करने हैं. एंड उसके लिए ऑल यू गॉट टू डू इज़ रीड योर NCERTs, रीड योर स्कूल टेक्स्ट बुक्स, राइट. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट एवरीथिंग. जनरल नॉलेज में फॉर एग्जाम्पल हिस्ट्री, फॉर एग्जाम्पल जोग्राफी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल पॉलिटी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इकोनॉमिक्स, और इन ऑप्टीट्यूड फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपका लॉजिकल रीजनिंग, आपकी जो है मैथमेटिक्स. व्हाट यू गॉट टू डू इज़ यू गॉट टू गो बैक टू द बेसिक्स. इवेंचुअली गो बैक, लर्न अबाउट द स्कूल टेक्स्ट बुक्स, राइट, जो आपको CBSE या फिर जो ICSE में पढ़ाई गई हैं, उन टेक्स्ट बुक्स पे जाइए. इवेंचुअली दैट विल एक्ट एज अ बेस फॉर योर प्रिपरेशन. नाउ द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन कम्स इज कि हाउ कॉम्पिटिटिव आर दीज एग्जामिनेशंस. नाउ लेट मी टेल यू, आई ऑलरेडी डेल्ट दैट इन डिटेल, राइट. सिंस इन इंडियन यूथ, right, government services are very, very, very attractive, right. So the thing is you will find a lot of competition as far as the public services are concerned, right. Example देता हूँ मैं, जैसे आपको UPSC का, right, in civil services what happens every year, somewhere around 10 lakh people, 10 lakh students, they fill the form, out of which somewhere around 6 to 7 lakh people or aspirants, they appear for the preliminary examination. And out of those, around 17,000, 15 to 17,000, they appear for the second phase, that is called as the mains examination. And after that, only 3,000 appear for the interview, and they are fighting for the posts that which are only 1,000 in number. So you can do the mathematics, right. So it is somewhere around 1:500, right. That is the odd of getting selected into UPSC, right. That is the odd. So that in itself tells how competitive the civil service examination are, right. You've got to again understand that it is the attraction in youth that pulls them towards this government examination. Plus we have got a large number of students every year becoming graduates and thinking of civil services or thinking of public services. So in coming future, also in near future, I think the competition for public services, it is going to increase, right. So next is, what are the future prospects after clearing the exams. Now let me tell you, your future prospects are very bright if you clear the examination, right. Now I'll elaborate on that. As far as let us just talk about every service. If you are talking about it, let us talk about few public services, right. So first, if you talk about the SSC, right, CGL, combined graduate level, eventually यहाँ पे जो है you start as a grade B officer, right, generally an inspector or सब इंस्पेक्टर आप यहाँ से स्टार्ट करते हैं, एंड यू इवेंचुअली मूव अप द रैंक्स, यू इवेंचुअली एंड अप एज असिस्टेंट कमिश्नर्स, राइट. सो दैट्स अ ग्रेड A. So your progression, natural progression is from grade B to grade A. As far as salaries are concerned, right, your starting salary is somewhere around 40,000 and eventually it moves up to 60-70,000. And अगर आप जो है पे कमीशंस की बात करें, तो इवेंचुअली विद एवरी पे कमीशन देयर इज़ अ सैलरी राइज. एंड उसके बाद जो है गवर्नमेंट के पेज एंड पर्क्स हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल आपको जो है HRA मिलता है, हाउसिंग अलाउंस रेंट्स हैं, राइट. आपका जो है TA, DAs हैं, ऑल दीज थिंग्स इन इंक्रीमेंटल डिपार्टमेंटल इंक्रीमेंशंस और इंक्रीमेंटल्स आर देयर, right. So eventually this particular aspect or particular job is very lucrative. As far as the civil services are concerned, right, अगर आप UPSC civil services की बात करो, तो by clearing the exam you become an IAS or IPS, right. Your starting job would be a grade A job where you will have the designation of maybe assistant commissioner, or you will have the designation of SDM, right, or SDC, right. These are the designations which are given, and eventually you have almost the whole district, right, within you, or the whole district's responsibility falls on you. And eventually with the time, right, you man the top level posts in the central government or the state government. For example, एक IPS जो है वो आपका जो है डायरेक्टर जनरल के रैंक तक जाता है. डायरेक्टर जनरल इज़ द हेड ऑफ पुलिस इन द होल स्टेट, राइट. सिमिलरली जो है आपका जो IAS होता है, IAS जो है विद टाइम इट मूव्स टू द लेवल ऑफ चीफ सेक्रेटरी और सेक्रेटरी. सेक्रेटरी इज़ द हेड ऑफ द होल डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ अ स्टेट और ऑफ अ सेंट्रल डिपार्टमेंट और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट जो डिपार्टमेंट है, या जो है he will be the head of the services in the whole state, right, or head of the executive in the whole state, right. So that particular way, this I'll tell you the future prospects are very bright, right. You go places, right, you will have a lot of responsibility in your hands, and if you have that will of serving the public, you can do a lot of good to them, right. So future prospects are very bright as far as the job is concerned, and there is obviously job security for you, also social security for you and your family, right. Eventually you're going to get a decent amount of salary, you're going to get all the allowances from the government, and eventually it eases up a pressure which is there on the Indian youth, that general youth, not even Indian youth, general youth, that they have to have job security and social security. So that is provided in civils in the public services, and that is why the future prospects are very bright, right. Next question that is asked generally is, what are the important books or reference study material a student should consider? Now again, as I told you, every exam has their own specific type of pattern, and that requires their own specific types of books. But जैसे मैंने अगर आपको बताया, अगर आप एक जनरल प्रिपरेशन करना चाहते हैं ऑफ कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स, कॉम्पिटिटिव पब्लिक सर्विस एग्जाम्स, अगेन वही 2 मॉड्यूल्स आते हैं. फर्स्ट मॉड्यूल इज़ योर जनरल नॉलेज, राइट, एंड सेकेंड मॉड्यूल इज़ योर ऑप्टीट्यूड, राइट. उसके बाद जो है, then once this basic conceptual knowledge is built, comprehensive knowledge आपने build कर ली है, then you can move towards the specific books. For example, I'll talk about civil services, right. In civil services what happens is, right, we prefer or we encourage students to first go through the basic school level books or the NCERTs, which are famously known as, right, NCERT books. NCERT books में जो है, they find the core conceptual clarity, right, regarding, for example, let us take about history, geography, right, polity, and then economics, then general science. They get a very concise knowledge and conceptual clarity, which is very important as far as civil services is concerned. As far as aptitude is concerned, again depends on the mathematics, quant, and English. Again, you've got to go back and study the books or study the standard books of 9th or 10th class, right, and eventually you'll find a lot of help in quantitative as well as the English comprehension is concerned. So basic, right, if you want to know about the books, right, basic are your school level education books. These are the most basic books that you need to refer regarding any kind of public service examination is concerned. Now then comes is specific books which are standard books which are required for a particular examination, right. Again, I'll talk about some civil service books a bit more, right. For example, right, once you're done with the basic books, there are some standard level books which eventually highlight more on the topics which are asked in UPSC or civil services. For example, everyone knows about for polity or the political science in India, right, general polity of India, we refer to M. Lakshmikant, right. So such kind of books are standard books which are important for civil service examination, right. I'll describe all these books in my further blogs, or you can find that on the website, right, and eventually you can if I'll be very glad if I could help you out in choosing the books also, right. So that will be found, that will be there in my blog, or it will be there in the website. Eventually you can refer to it, right. And then is the most important question which every aspirant who comes to me or who comes to any civil service mentor, who comes to any public service tutor, is that what are the tips that you can give to crack the examination, right. आपके पास क्या tips हैं to crack the examination? So let me tell you students, there is no hard and fast rule to crack the paper. There is no hard and fast rule. You have to do it in old school way, that is to do hard work, right, to have perseverance, to study hard, and obviously, right, you have to build upon it, right. So what I as far as the tips are concerned, I'd say the only important thing as far as tips is concerned is you don't have to do just the hard work, you also have to do the smart work, right? That means you have to be very precise in what you are studying, right? जैसे आपने वो फेमस महाभारती कहावत सुनी होगी, राइट, जिसमें कि राइट द्रोणाचार्य अर्जुन को कहते हैं कि आपको जो है क्या दिख रहा है ना, वो सारे पांचों पांडव को बुलाते हैं, राइट, वो पूछते हैं कि आपको उस पेड़ में जिस पे निशाना लगाना होता है वो पूछते हैं कि वहाँ पे आपको क्या दिख रहा है ना, राइट. सो इवेंचुअली एवरीबडी टॉक्स अबाउट एवरीथिंग, राइट. हम सब ने वो स्टोरी सुनी है, बट ओनली अर्जुन सेज दैट ही कैन सी ओनली द टारगेट, right? So that is the way to prepare. That is the most important tip we can find, right? That you have to be very specific on what you are targeting. आप क्या टारगेट कर रहे हैं आपको ये देखना होगा और उसी हिसाब से आपको एक स्मार्ट वर्क करना होगा, राइट. उसी हिसाब से आपको प्लानिंग और स्ट्रेटेजाइज करना होगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल I'll tell you the strategy which I give to UPSC civil service aspirants. I tell them for general, right, you have to follow a 4:4:2 strategy, or matter of fact 3:3:2 strategy. That means for 3 hours you have to work on your general knowledge, right, or your current affairs knowledge, and for next 3 hours you have to take up some conventional subject, for example history, geography, polity and all these things. And for the next 2 hours you can take up some miscellaneous activity. For example, you can go on writing answers, you can go on writing the tests, or you can even just build up on your personality, right, enhance your personality, do things which you like, right, pursue your hobby and all. And with time you'd see these small steps will eventually lead you to the victory, right. All I want to tell you as far as preparation is concerned, this is one other important tip that I would like to give you, is to make small targets, right. Now obviously you have a big target once you start preparing for it. आपने जैसे यूपीएससी का प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट किया एंड आप सोचते हो कि अगले साल मुझे आईएएस बनना है, राइट. दैट्स अ बिग प्लान, दैट्स अ बिग टारगेट, राइट. अगर आप इस बड़े टारगेट को लेके चलेंगे, राइट, एंड इवेंचुअली यू विल गेट लॉस्ट समवेयर, बीच में कहीं खो जाएंगे या बीच में कहीं जो है डाइवर्जन में फंस जाएंगे कहीं पे. सो व्हाट यू गॉट टू डू इज यू गॉट टू मेक वेरी स्मॉल टारगेट्स, मेक डेली टारगेट्स, मेक वीकली टारगेट्स, मेक मंथली टारगेट, एंड धीरे धीरे उनको अचीव करो. With 6 or 7 months or 8 months down the line, you will feel that you are on your way to achieve your particular goal. And this, matter of fact, is true for all the services, all the public services which you are aspiring for, right. So these are the general tips. First of all is you've got to be very clear, very specific with your target. Second is you've got to do smart work. Third, you've got to make small goals, small plans, right, and eventually fulfill those plans in daily, in weekly and in monthly basis, right. And thereafter one more thing that you can do is you can get an expert help. That is always going to help, right. The one who are already experienced in this particular field can give you a lot. Apart from the teaching, they can give you a lot. They have got a lot in experience, and eventually this experience can be used to what you can do is these these experience could be used so that you can avoid the pitfalls, you can avoid the dead ends, and you can eventually avoid wasting your energy, right. So these were few of the questions which I've took in this current video, right. Please you can comment on the section down below, right. What else do you want me to do, what kind of questions you want me to answer, and I would be glad if I could help you out in your journey towards public services, right. So thank you very much. That is it for me.